Alright, let's get it. Hey, what's up guys, eRivera94 back again with another action figure review. And today we are looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Stealth Iron Man from the Ursa Major Iron Man comic book wave. As you can see him through the window packaging. And then on the side we get the nice art. On the back side we get that same art along with the rest of the wave displayed on the bottom and the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure built together there. There is a read-up on the back as always, and this time it reads, "The Mark 15 suit, codename Sneaky, gives Tony Stark a built-in cloaking system, dampening the thrusters and retro-reflective coating to deliver devastating stealth attacks on opponents." Be sure to check out the links down below in the description if you guys want to order yourself a set of this Ursa Major Wave. I just want to show the background of the packaging real quick. The modular Iron Man had the same thing, but it's real cool. I like how they put that little Iron Man silhouette or outline right there in the back. Using the almighty 80th anniversary Iron Man body mold, which is good because it's one of the best Iron Man body molds that Hasbro has put out, and they have been using it quite a bit. They just used it with the AI Tony Stark with a little bit more of a classic colorway of the yellow and red. And then of course we first got it with the 80th anniversary Iron Man. Here we are again with it. With Stealth Iron Man, I believe that the Iron Man Walgreens exclusive, the Iron Man 2020, used some parts of this figure, if not all. They just added a separate piece on it, so I think they've used it at least 4 times. And again, that's not a bad thing. I'm just mentioning how many times it's been used. So the last time we got a Stealth Iron Man was the Hasbro 2-pack, I believe. I forget which figure that Iron Man came with. But I know it was a 2-pack that it was a variant where you could get the stealth, just like the Series 1 Iron Man Toy Biz, which was a variant to get him in a stealth armor. Variants no longer exist unless you're talking about the Loki TV show, but it's a whole entirely different thing. Now, seeing the image on the back of the box, you can see that there are 2 different tones of blue. There's a light blue and a darker blue. As you can see, the face mask and the thighs are a lighter blue, but they've never really interpreted that look into any action figure, and that goes with Toy Biz too. That Toy Biz figure was all blue, just like what we see here. There is a slight difference in tone, very slightly. You can see the thighs compared to the torso, but it's nothing as significant or as dramatic as that right there. I don't know. I'm fine with this look, totally fine with the look. I'm just trying to point out that the image looks a little different. Now this Iron Man comes with a couple of accessories and of course a Build-A-Figure piece. We'll start with the hands here. We have 2 pairs of fists on the figure itself. So he also does come with a open pair of hands with peg holes inside them so you can stick some effects inside. These are fixed, unlike the modular Iron Man, which had hinges like this. These are fixed back to the fixed positioned hands there for your blasting repulsors. And here are the repulsors, same sculpt we've gotten plenty of times before, but this time we got it in red. So we all have these effects in many different colors at this point. Very cool. It's supposed to be red, so it looks good. And then lastly, we get a repaint of the Tony Stark head from the 80th anniversary release. So very slight difference. It's a lighter skin tone and, very subtle different paint job for the eyebrows. So it makes it a little different. We'll compare that in a sec. But overall, everything else is the same. And then he comes with the left leg of our Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. And here is our closer look at our Stealth Iron Man. Here you can really see that little 2-tone difference here. The face mask and the actual head is different. So it's similar to the picture, just not as light as the picture. But there is a difference in color, so it's okay. It looks good. And you can see how glossy this looks. And I'll get back to this glossiness in a second. I want to show it very briefly in this video. I might make a separate video about it. But there seems to be a variation in releases for this Iron Man. But we'll get back to that later. So has anyone else noticed in the past recent releases, starting with the Villains Wave, that we've been getting figures with this kind of white powder on it? This figure has that white powder on it quite a bit. I had to wipe some off, and I'm sure there's still some on it. It's hard to catch on the video. But recently, I don't know what the factory is using, but they're using some kind of white powder on the figure, and yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. You got to kind of wipe it off. Some figures have it, some don't. But on a figure like this, it's pretty annoying because you could see it very easily. But I just gotta wipe the figure off. But you can see overall it's just the 80th anniversary body mold, just all blue. Looks good, looks nice, very nice. We all knew this was coming eventually, so I'm glad it's finally here. So let's move on. And then here we have the unmasked Tony Stark head on the body itself. Also worth noting, these little parts here are not painted. They painted these for the 80th anniversary and the AI Tony Stark, but this time around they did not paint those little bolts there. And then here is the 80th anniversary Tony Stark head. And you can see the very slight skin tone difference, nothing too major. But one thing I really did pick up on is the the eyebrows, and the mustache is slightly, very subtle, difference there, but nothing too crazy. But the eyebrows for sure, you can see how they kind of curve on the edges here, and on the 80th anniversary does not have that, very sharp curve to it. So it's a little difference there. The hair is pretty much the same, although the hair that's kind of hanging here on his forehead is a little different too. But other than that, it's the same. And then here is the 80th anniversary head on this stealth body. So going back to the glossiness of the figure, this is the one I've been reviewing right now in this video, and I do have a second one from this very exact wave of the stealth Iron Man. He's on the right side here, and he's different. He is different. I think there's been different batches from the factory. Some of them have come out more glossy than others, so I wanted to point this out. I'll get a closer shot of them both, but this is more glossy and this one's more matte on the right side in terms of how the blue looks. So let's take a closer look at that. So here's a closer look, and it's mainly in the torso area around the arc reactor. How you can see the shine on this one is more marbleized. It's more glossy than it is over here. This one's definitely more matte. I actually like the glossiness a little bit better. I don't know. I was trying to decide which one I actually liked more. And they're both pretty good. So I don't know if you can get your hands on both versions, why not? But you can also see the arc reactor is slightly different too. There's a little bit more white airbrush on that arc reactor compared to the red one over here. There's definitely more red than white on the glossy version. Now it does look like the arms are the same on both. It's not really matte, so I think the major difference here is the torso piece that ended up being more glossy than the other. And then there's a quick look at the backs there, glossy on the left and a little bit more matte on the right. Alright, so if you own the 80th anniversary Iron Man, you know what this articulation is all about. He's got a ball jointed hinge on the head, so he looks up pretty nice and he looks down really, really good. Left and right, get some head tilting. Nothing too deep or crazy. Arms will go forward and back all the way around, in and out. Pretty far. We have the bicep swivels, double jointed elbows. This is the older mold, of course. It's not old, it's new, but it was before they did the pinless tech. It was just around the corner when they started it up. So this one does have pins on the knees and the elbows. We have a wrist swivel and a hinge. We have an ab crunch and a waist swivel. T-jointed legs will kick forward and they go back, they go in and out. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees, that nice boot cut, and then we got the hinge at the ankle and then the rocker at the foot. And they did pack this guy in with the the shins the correct way. Lately, starting with the 80th anniversary release, they were being released backwards, but they got it right. And there's a quick look at him with those repulsor blast effects on his hands. So pretty standard stuff for Iron Man, but it's always cool to get. Also here you can see that they did fix the biceps too. That's another thing they had backwards on the 80th anniversary release. So here he is compared next to the Toy Biz Series 1 Stealth Iron Man variant release. Something about the Toy Biz Marvel Legends that will always have me liking them. Not more than the Hasbro ones that are coming out now, but I still like them nonetheless. Right, and here was Hasbro's first attempt at the Stealth Iron Man, and that is a major difference there. This looks like a stick inside of a stretchy, elastic Iron Man suit, and this looks like a human being inside an actual Iron Man suit right there. So definitely, they've come a long way. Colors and proportions and height is a lot better than this first release of Hasbro for the Stealth Iron Man. And then here we have him next to the Extremis Iron Man Stealth version that came out in the Return of Marvel Legends Terrax wave from Hasbro. You can see as well he stands a little shorter and a little bit smaller overall compared to the new Hasbro Stealth Iron Man here. and this one had the brighter, vibrant blue with the lighter blue parts there. So this one actually resembles the color on that photo on the back of the package for this figure here, a little bit more so. There he is next to the 80th anniversary Iron Man, and next to the Tony Stark AI. And then there is the Invincible Iron Man. And there he is next to the Deluxe War Machine. Up next, I'll put him next to the new Ultron from this wave. This is how he stacks up next to Dark Star and next to Ironheart. Alright guys, and there you have it. There is your look at the Stealth Iron Man figure from the Hasbro Marvel Legends Ursa Major Iron Man comic book wave. This figure is great. A nice addition to our Hall of Armor, our Iron Man armor collection. It was a much needed remake that needed to be done, so that's another one checked off the list. There's still a couple more remakes that we gotta get to get our definitive Iron Man armor collection going and put together. Iron Man being my favorite superhero of them all, I'm super happy that this wave even exists in the first place, and I really hope that it continues on and we get many more armors that we still need, and other characters as well in the Iron Man universe. Alright guys, that does it. Be sure to check out my previous reviews from this wave and stay tuned for my upcoming reviews of this wave. I think there's still 2 more, 3 if you count the Build-A-Figure, so stay tuned for that. Leave a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, take care and have a great day. Bye.
That's crispy.